Okay, so fantasy, Netflix. I want to start off good because you're not looking forward to the show like I am. Dark Crystal showed its pilot and released a featurette to the public. I heard the pilot was fantastic, and the featurette again is fantastic. This show just needs to come out, done, whatever. Dark Crystal, woohoo! Let's get to The Witcher. Okay. All these images come out of Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia. He looks awesome. He looks slick. He looks like Geralt of Rivia. Where the fuck was he in this trailer? He said one line, and it really wasn't even that good of a line.
There's more than one line. He had a few.
No,
lines.
he does not. He says the one line after the lady says, so that's all you're after. Monsters and cash. That's all it needs to be. Yes, that's all he says.
No, he has more than one line.
No, he says...
I have seen the trailer a lot, Zachary. Go back, rewatch the trailer, and then we can have this discussion again. I promise you, he says more than one line.
It doesn't matter about the talking. They hit him. He is barely in his own trailer. He shows up at the beginning and at the end. He's nowhere in the middle. The entire middle is dedicated to Ciri and Yennefer. And that's fine. Show us the women of the show. Like, Yennefer's story looks awesome. Of her changing from the monster into the beautiful witch that falls in love. That looks awesome. But the show is called The Witcher. And you barely show until... And by the way, the whole Dark Guys thing at the end made no sense.
So I do have a few observations. If it means anything,
it was the most disappointing thing I saw from this year's Comic-Con. It really made me mad.
Okay, well, going from a standpoint from a fan that absolutely didn't like it to a standpoint from a fan who was okay with it, I didn't love it, and I do mention that in my trailer reaction. Not my favorite. But I also did not hate it, okay? And there's several reasons for this, and we'll go over the stuff that I liked first, before we move into the stuff that I didn't like. One, I have agreed with you, Henry Cavill was not in a trailer that was meant to be a Henry Cavill's trailer. I have two reasonings for this that could possibly be, is that one, he's actually not that great in the TV show, and they're trying to hide him, and they're showing things that are good. Or two, is that because it's based off the books, the characters that we are showing, the side characters, might have a much bigger element in the books than they do in the game. And so we might be used to
which is true.
You know, and so it might not be about the Witcher might be what it's called, but it might not just be about the Witcher. My second element, since we're talking about things I didn't like, my second element was the whole trailer. I was waiting for monsters. And we just got a big gigantic spider at the end. I was really disappointed with that. I'm just like, what's this?
He was in, and you can notice from the games, he was in a pit. Bring up those little blue fucks from the game and go,
my gosh, there's so many good characters, like the little blue things. They're my favorite.
The Griffin from 3.
They're amazing.
Something.
It's great. It's great. Either way. Things I didn't like about it. Okay, I thought one, he looked amazing. Ultimately, if he didn't say much, he still looked amazing.
He looked really good. He looked the part really well.
Also, because we were speculative if Netflix actually paid money for this or not. We were curious.
Yeah, they did.
They paid money for it, and you know how I am about Netflix. They either pay for it, or they really just shove it off to the corner and be like, you make it. Here's $10. You know, they're like, no, you make it. Here's $1 million. And we are grateful, Netflix. Also, you know, the eyes, since that has been something of speculation through conversations, I use the eyes for my thumbnail, for my trailer reaction. Like, it was a big deal in the trailer. I have a feeling they have to show him using magic in a way, shape, or form where it takes over his body like it does in the game. And they can't just
Have you heard the other thing with the eyes, what people think it is?
No. Could be a demon type thing. Huh?
He's possessed.
Yeah, it could be like a demon type thing. I never read the books. I don't know how he is in the books. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I really need to go read some, either read the books before the TV show, which I probably end up doing. Let's get real here. I'll read the books. I'm not going to read the spoiler digest versions. I'll read the books.
I will.
Yeah, you'll read it. It's okay. That's okay. We're two different people here. But even with that being said, I think overall I did enjoy it. I thought the action looked really good. I also like hearing Henry Cavill saying that he did his own stunts, that he wanted everybody to feel like that they were a part of the action, and he didn't feel like a stuntman would allow them to do that.
I think Mr. Cavill learned a little thing or two from Mr. Cruz, I guess.
Probably. It does make me a little bit nervous, though, as maybe the action sequences are not as big as I want them to be, as they weren't allowed to use a stunt double, and so they could have been nervous.
I don't know. That little hill scene with all those people coming down the hill looks kind of big.
I don't. Well, no. By the same point as I mean, like, not like big in scale, but like.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Death-threatening, like, stunts. Stunts that are like, oh my god, they just did that. Not like, that's a lot of people killing a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the action war sequences, yeah, you can put your actor in there. But
it
someone
didn't
flying
look gory.
1,000 feet in the air, can't really put your actor in that.
It didn't look bloody or gory.
Which I think it's simply because they're trying to... We do know it's CBMA. They came out. It's full of hardcore sexual content and nudity. Like, this is
that has to be there.
Huh?
That has to be there. No, unfortunately, it's The Witcher.
I agree. And honestly, you can't not pay for Henry Cavill and not have him be naked. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be sexist here. He's a hot man. He deserves it. The girls, they're very naked in the video game. It's
full frontal, yes or no?
Huh?
Do you think full frontal, yes or no?
Yes, I think so. I think if you're really going for it, I do think so. I think he would go for it too, because he's trying to make a comeback, and that's definitely a way to make a comeback.
No pun intended.
I know, but still.
so that's Netflix, really. Netflix didn't have a lot to show this year.
Which I didn't expect them to, personally.
No.
Oh, side notes. Some quick little side notes, because it has yet to get renewed. But the rumor is, on Netflix, by the way, Stranger Things Season 4 is supposed to start production next month. It's the rumor, has not been announced for renewal, but
it's going to get renewed.
Been renewed, per se. Which this means that we can have it as early as of April next year. If they start
I'm still saying Christmas.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they go, like, through seasonal, which we had talked about and things, I would say probably around Christmas. But still, I'm guessing, like, because they're doing summer release dates, it seems to be the time period that they're going with. I mean, Season 2 was released in October. It's not, like, out there that could be released in Christmas.
No, it's not out of the realm.
Release as soon as next year, which is crazy because it's supposed to be the final season. When it does get announced, a lot of people are getting mad about that, but they always planned on writing for and being done. So I want the story to end where they want it to end and not end, with
where
it being...
people want to... Where Netflix goes, we need 3 more seasons out of you.
Yeah, like, this had the biggest, hold ever for anything. We need 6 more seasons. Can you do that? No, please don't do that.
I think that's all small. You want to get into this?
Well, hold on. CW, I didn't watch anything for it, but a lot of people have problems with it. So I am curious how you feel.
We need to talk about that. Batwoman.
Not Batwoman. I'm not talking about
No. We need to talk about it.
It's a pilot.
No. So, first off, a lot of people dropped out of Comic-Con this year.
Yep.
Because it was announced Wednesday that Ruby Rose was not going to show up for her panel. And she didn't. I'm glad she didn't. The reactions out of the pilot...
Once again, I'm going to reiterate this just once again. It is the pilot. We can't really judge. It's just a simple thing. Is I've seen so many pilots in my life. Like, so many pilots. I do not judge off of pilots. As that is simply just a way a creator is trying to sell something. It's only 2 or 3 episodes in where we can start being really harsh towards something where we're like, oh, this is pretty bad. Or in my case with Veronica Mars, I waited like 10 episodes and I realized how good it was. So it's just simply...
Why do you think she backed out?
Because there's a lot of hate around it, period. Like, at this very moment in time, her being a part of the TV show has a lot of hate. Just her being a part of it is just... It was really hated when it was announced. Hold on, Yards.
The other thing from CW was they announced more of their Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff for the crossover. Holy shit, Brandon Routh coming back as Kingdom Come Superman. What the fuck?
Yeah, I do
and
have
Burt
a question.
Ward is coming back as the 66 Robin. What is this crossover?
So my question towards you is, are you mad that they chose Brandon Routh to come back?
No. Of the two, Welling's got his own stuff going on right now, and he hasn't really shown a lot of wanting to get back into Superman. Whereas I think,
it's the fence.
And
really
whereas I think Brandon Routh got a little bit side jumped after Returns came out. Like, he's a really good Superman,
Well,
and I think he'll play
also,
a great older version of Kingdom Come Superman.
I don't know. Here's my also other thing. Now, I do want to mention, since this is a channel to me popping up on, I am no longer reacting to Big Ol' Lies Season 2. Due to all the reviews I have read, I probably am not finishing it, so I'm not going to react to something that I'm not finishing.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. We're just not going to talk about it. So, instead, I'm going back over and moving into Arrow. I'm going to be reacting to every TV show in the Arrowverse, whole 9 yards, starting with Arrow, then when Flash comes out, doing Flash, as well as Arrow, whole 9 yards, however, however, I have research done. I'm really not reacting to the whole series, I'm reacting to certain episodes that are supposed to be prolific or whatever. That way I can watch it on my own and binge watch it, so it's coming out, like, more frequently than, like, one episode a week type thing. Either way, side note, so I don't want to know too much about it. All I do know is that Brendan Roth is in DC Legends. Legends of Tomorrow is what I mean by that.
He is the Atom.
Yeah, and so do you have a problem with him playing two different roles?
No, because they're two different roles.
Okay, but it's the same actor in the same... they're going to be in the crossover together.
Okay.
So that's okay with you?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people had problems with that they should have brought over a different Superman to play him, who's so, like, really big or whatever for it. Like, you know what I mean?
People keep forgetting that the suit that Tom Welling wears at the end of Smallville is not a custom suit designed for his show. It is, in fact, the Brandon Routh suit from Superman Returns.
Well, yeah, but it's just, like, it's more like paying... I don't know. I have no personal opinion about this. I was just simply curious from someone who loved Smallville.
Keep talking. I have to get my charger.
Okay. Like, you know, like, just someone who absolutely loves Smallville and other things like that. I was just personally curious, as I'm not a huge fan of Smallville. I enjoyed it when it was on. I've seen every episode. But, you know...
No. I love Smallville. Smallville is still, I think, the best Superman iteration on live action still. I still think it is. But you have to remember, when you look at DC stuff now, most kids or teens that watch the Arrow stuff really know Brandon more, probably, than Tom.
Yeah, but they probably know Brandon more from his TV show and not because he played Superman in a movie back in 2009.
And plus, I just think it's cool that they're giving him a second shot.
I have no issue with him reprising his role. Over the chatter on the internet, I heard a lot of backlash towards it.
I honestly think people are understating this Burt Ward news about him coming back as Robin.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about it. That's how understated it is.
So 1966 Batman with Adam West, his Robin was Burt Ward. He's coming back as the 66 Robin to the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover.
How do you feel
I don't know
that?
how. I don't know why. But I'm desperate to know.
How do you feel about it?
And I hope they mention Adam. I hope they mention his Batman. Because he's there, and he's one of the most prolific Batmans on television. It'd be kind of weird not to mention his Batman. But this makes me wonder now, if this whole crossover thing's going the way it's going, and it's including film, will the Gotham Batman show up?
See, that's my question. That was my next question towards you. Is that, do you want Batman in this, or do you want Batwoman to kind of...
Yes.
So, yes. Okay. Well,
Both of them.
I only asked because, technically, I mean, you know, Tyler Hoechlin didn't show up as Superman until, like, the second season, I think it was, of... Was it the second season? Yeah. Of Supergirl. But he still had a major presence. Would you still want Batman to have a huge presence in Batwoman?
Honestly, don't let it be the Gotham Batman. Bring us the Batman from Batwoman. Bring him over for the crossover saying, I came over to help with this one thing, and then I'm retired, I'm done, and then he goes, and then leads into the Batwoman stuff. Let that be the case. But no, if there are going to be two versions of Superman, of a Superman in there, let at least one Batman show up.
We'll have to wait and see. It's getting awfully crowded. I mean, they have
I'm so excited for this crossover.
They have several TV shows. Did you also hear how they're planning on bringing Black Adam? Sorry. There's so many characters, and it's so racially horrible. Black Lightning over into the Arrowverse officially.
through the crossover, yeah, which everybody thought that's what was going to happen. But also, can we talk about some super suits?
I didn't look at any of them. And I didn't look at anything. I didn't really pay attention to most things. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt
That's
you.
fine. The Supergirl suit? Damn.
I actually texted you about that, I'm pretty sure.
Her suit looks awesome. I'm so glad they ditched the skirt. I'm so glad they ditched it.
See, okay, I have issues with it, to be honest with you. And I think a part of me is like, she needs a feminine vibe because of what she represents. So much of her TV show represents it, that I think the skirt is necessary. And also, there's not many superheroes out there that wear the skirt. And I think the skirt is also, like, necessary in that way.
Does
but also,
everybody forget the Power Rangers? They wear skirts all the time.
Yeah, but Zachary, does anybody watch the Power Rangers?
Yes, and Comic-Con proved that.
Oh my gosh, I didn't hear anything about that, but okay, we're just gonna move on. Oh, speaking
also,
of...
Arrow's trailer made me cry.
Yeah, so Arrow, I didn't watch any trailers. Obviously, I don't want to know anything. I know a lot, but I don't want to know anything more than I know, because I know so much. So...
Thinking about it makes me want to cry. The Arrow trailer was beautiful.
See, that's really interesting, and that's why I bring it up, is because a lot of people had a lot of problems with their trailers that they brought to Comic-Con this year. Their presence overall is that it was just not overall positive.
The weakest trailer of the three that they released between Arrow, Supergirl, and Flash, the full trailers that we got. The weakest one was Flash, probably. Second one goes Supergirl, and then my favorite was the Arrow one. Also,
side note, Batwoman's tattoo teaser was real bad.
It was terrible.
Like, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad.
That was, by the way, that was the only, besides the pilot, that was the only footage they brought for Batwoman, was that.
It was just, I don't know why you'd bring that. Like, I just don't. It was bad. It was bad.
And I hate saying this. I hate saying this so much, because Supergirl didn't need it. Batman better be in the pilot. I think Batman will save. She needs it. I hate saying this, but she needs Batman.
See, once again, I'm not going to say that until I see it, and ultimately, I won't be watching Batwoman for a long time. So I'll let you know in like a year when I get caught up how I feel.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the. We can talk about it now. I think
it's time.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Marvel did it. They came back and won Comic-Con. Yeah. And they won it in spades.
Shock and awe.
So you didn't watch any of the panels. However, I have everything brought up on my phone. The entire read up, lay down, all of it. So here's how. So before we talk about it, here is how Phase 4 is going to go.
Yeah, I have that screenshotted.
Okay. So read it with me. Hang on. So we have Black Widow on May 1st, 2020. On Disney Plus, we have The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in fall of 2020. November 6th, 2020 is Marvel's The Eternals. February 12th, 2021 is Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. Spring of 2021 is WandaVision. May 7th, 2021, and I love this title, is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I have so many theories. I have so many things to talk about.
Spring 2021 is Loki. Summer of 2021 is, I'm looking forward to this, is Marvel's What If. Fall of 2021, people are giving this show so much crap because of the logo. You do not get Matt Fraction's Hawkeye comic book series.
Oh, there was a lot of good that came out of Comic-Con as well for that series, which we'll talk about.
Hawkeye is going to be fantastic. And then, of course, on November 5th, 2021, Thor comes back in with the good old Love and Thunder.
In which we're going to... I think, personally, how we should talk about this is not how the panel talked about it. We should talk
and Blade.
Huh?
Oh, and Blade.
Yeah. So we should talk about in the phase order. Also, before we get started, I do want to mention that Phase 4 is half the length of Phase 3, which is interesting because Phase 5 is supposed to come around in 2 years. That's
Yes.
crazy. So movies
D23. We'll talk about that. I think D23 is when we get Phase 5.
Well, I don't think so. I think we're gonna wait a little bit. But movies that we do know that are being in production: Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther 2. Also a few other ones.
The
Guardians
Fantastic Four and Mutants.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Guardians Volume 3, Fantastic Four, Mutants.
It's
all
so
these movies, these 5 movies. What?
It's so cool hearing him say those ones.
These 5 movies are announced. Some of them announced very subtly at Comic-Con, so much so that Mutants didn't even trend. I was shocked. Moving on. That also Blade. Blade was also announced. It is a movie. It's not a TV show. But with those 6 movies, I'm assuming those are coming in later phases, as I'm pretty sure Phase 5 will have the next actual Avengers movie. Spider-Man 3, which has yet to be announced, there is rumors that we're not getting one unless it does make $1 billion. Good for it. That's going to make $1 billion probably this weekend, so good for Spider-Man. So either way, we can start, I would say we'd start with the beginning of Phase 4 and work our way through, or we can start with the things that we love and work to things we don't like. I'm okay with either option.
I want to make sure everybody understands how it's going to work, so we'll start from the beginning and work our way down.
Also, very quickly, slightly, I want to mention that we'll have spoilers for Avengers Endgame. Seriously, people, have you watched it?
No, at this point...
No, I'm just letting people know. I think it's just fair to let people know. Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. I don't really think we're going to talk about many spoilers from Spider-Man, just because there's nothing here that really evidence that we need to talk about them. But I just want to put it out there that it's a possibility that they could pop up. Okay, we can start now.
Okay, so the first one is Marvel Studios' Black Widow. It stars Scarlett Johansson, David Harbour, Florence Pugh, OTB Fabangle, and Rachel Weisz, directed by Kate Shortland, in theaters May 1st, 2020. We got footage from the movie. We got like 5 minutes of footage from the film with a fight between Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh.
Also, we got a fight, by the way, did not know about this until I watched Grace's coverage of it. They also got a fight of
Black Widow versus Taskmaster.
Yeah, and Taskmaster, which I didn't know because I heard it was amazing. Which is why
we got confirmations of some characters, so we now know that David Harbour is playing Red Guardian, which is a character within the Marvel Universe that plays a lot with Black Widow, which, by the way, I think this is probably the coolest thing. His character's name is Alexei.
I know.
Which is awesome. Florence Pugh will be playing the opposite Black Widow. I have a theory. I actually have a theory about Florence Pugh and David Harbour. I think one of them is Taskmaster.
See,
in disguise. I think they're sharing the role.
Okay. Keep going.
We still don't know who Rachel Weisz is playing in the movie.
We have a name.
Do we?
We do have a name. It's Melina, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is how you pronounce it.
We know her character runs the Red Room.
She's not, actually, because I thought she was going to be... That sounds like an obvious choice, right? But no, she's actually a villain of Black Widow's. Her body gets turned into metal, and she has this like metal armor suit type thing that comes over her whole 9 yards. It sounds really cool. So no, it's not actually who you think it is. She's actually part of a group that leads into a bigger villain for Black Widow, or a bigger villain maybe for the MCU entirely. And it's this all women's group, and she's a part of that as well. I don't know if they'll get into that or not.
Okay, and so it comes out May 1st, 2020, which you and I talked about. We figured that November and May were going to be Eternals and Black Widow. We were both correct on that, which high five to us. We knew that one. So that's Black Widow. I think the logo looks really cool for the movie. The hats that they had, everybody came out with her and the hat were awesome. I want the Blade hat though. The Blade hat was really cool.
Also, the image checker released to the public of Black Widow fighting Taskmaster looked amazing. Awesome.
Taskmaster, by the way, me shitting on Taskmaster apparently worked. He looks dead on to the comics. He looks so good.
I do have a question here, since we do now know, since it is official, that it is a prequel and that we will actually get to learn what happened in Budapest. How do you feel about these things?
Civil War.
Huh?
It is post-Civil War. This is what this movie is. It's post-Civil War.
Well, yeah. But as we do know that it is is going to be based off her life, her secrets. We're going to get to know many, many types of things about her, such as Budapest. I don't know. I'm nervous.
So that probably means Runner's in the movie then, probably.
I hope so. She needs an assist. Ultimately, she needs an assist. I think that's not a horrible assist to have either, since they play so well together, like on screen. That I think, and also it'd be like really nice for people for Avengers Endgame and their.
They have that kind of notion of them finally having one more sign on screen together. Yeah, I agree.
Because I do think that for a while this will be Black Willow's final movie, and we'll move into Florence Pugh, which I'm a huge fan of her, and so I'm very happy that she's getting this major upgrade, maybe even a huger upgrade. So. Which
I think she's going to start the Young Avengers, which we'll get into. So right after that, in fall of 2020, because Disney Plus, you have to watch everything, is Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Which I don't know anything about.
Which is Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, and here's the big reveal, Daniel Bruhl from Civil War, Zemo.
Oh, yeah, I did know about this. Never mind. I did know about this.
And the big reveal at Comic-Con was Daniel Bruhl came on screen as Zemo, and he pulled down the and we now know that this is. I feel so happy for other cultures when it comes to Marvel now. We get to see Falcon in his Captain America uniform, which is just awesome. I'm so excited to see him. I'm so excited to see like his red wings and the blue and the white.
Still have a lot of problems with Falcon taking over the mantle.
You didn't watch the panel. They tossed the shield back and forth.
I don't care. I still just have problems about it.
But it comes out in fall of 2020.
I do find it really interesting how the movies have certain specific dates, whereas the TV shows are up in the air as we just have a season for them. I found that really interesting how we didn't actually have a date for them, as normally we do have dates for every single thing. But yeah.
Well, I'm guessing if we're going off this, if Black Widow comes out in May, I believe that
September, October.
I'm guessing October. Probably fall. Will probably be the fall release date.
I'm going to say it's earlier than that because in November they're going to at least give us I'm assuming a 2-month gap in between.
I think August maybe.
So August, September. I'm going to say somewhere in there. Probably August, since Marvel does have a tendency to release movies in August. I would not put it against them.
Yeah. And so then after that is Marvel Studios The Eternals with this cast, man. Oh, this cast. Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, Leah McGrew, and Don Lee. Directed by Chloe Zhao, November 6th. Holy crap.
Now, question for you.
Sure.
I am obviously going to go see this movie no matter what. It's a Marvel movie. We go see them together. It's not it's just a thing that we do, Yeah. But my question lies is since we both have no idea truly what the Eternals are, we have a vague... Huh?
It's not entirely true anymore.
Well, it's like a vague idea. We have a
No. I got the Marvel app, and I've been reading Eternals comics. Okay. I'm gathering info.
Well, I don't know anything about the Eternals. I have a feeling it's going to be a tough sell. Don't you think from what you understand? And,
Oh, yes.
So, do you think the cast is enough of a sell?
Yes.
So do you think it works?
For God's sakes, they got Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek in the same film. How? By the way, if you'd like to know, these are the names of these characters. Yeah. So, we have Richard Madden as Icarus, Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo, Lauren Ridloff as Makari, Brian Tyree Henry as Phastos, Salma Hayek as Ajak, Leah McHugh as Sprite, which the cool thing about Leah McHugh as Sprite is she is the first deaf actor.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Play a Marvel character. And it's this little girl, and she is adorable. Don Lee as Gilgamesh and Angelina Jolie as Thena. Now, when people look at the images that they've shown for Eternals, Richard Madden's Icarus is the man on the front with the yellow hair in the front of everybody. That's Icarus.
I've seen a picture.
But
I'll Google it.
I'm the cast alone makes me excited for this film. I'm so excited to see some more material from it.
Well, ultimately, that's what they probably paid the most money on, is my assumption, and so I really hope it does work out in their favor. since I don't know how to sell it.
All right, so after the Eternals, we have the Black Panther spot in 2021, which is February 12th. Marvel Studios Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings with Simu Awkwafina and Tony Leung, directed by Destin Daniel. So what this is...
I know what this is. I just watched a whole thing about it.
So before they announced the cast, Kevin Feige showed an entire 1 minute film reel of all the 10 Rings mentions throughout the MCU that we have not even paid attention to. And the biggest reveal of this besides Shang-Chi, which the story about the guy who played Shang-Chi is awesome.
Yeah, I have a question. There's so much controversy around this movie already. I have a question for you. We'll get to it in a minute.
The fact that we've got the real, and I like how they titled it on the thing, the real Mandarin, which makes the Mad King short from Iron Man 3 canon, saying because Slattery tells, well, there is a real Mandarin. He just told me to do this, which makes him real. But the story behind the guy playing Shang-Chi, he was cast on Tuesday, flown out to California on Friday, and revealed to us.
So, speaking of Shang-Chi, I think it's gonna be okay. I'm not super looking forward to this movie. I won't lie. Ultimately, I take it back. I love Awkwafina to death. Her having this big role in a Marvel movie makes me so happy. But because I have doing a lot of research, especially on Shang-Chi, since they're spending so much money on it, and they're doing so much to promote it and different things. It's first Asian film. Obviously, the reason why Avengers Endgame got to the biggest spot in the box office was because of China. A very big reason. They want their representation. It makes total sense, bringing diversity, to the group. But with that being said, oh my God, they got themselves into a horrible pickle with this movie. So, did not know this. Just recent news, by the way, China absolutely hates this movie. Hates this announcement, whole 9 yards. Read 7 articles about it. I was shocked, okay? And so I'm going to explain kind of what it is. I'm going to explain kind of what it is.
One pause.
Sorry, my phone dropped.
Anyway.
So, the actor who's playing the Mandarin is one of the most prolific actors in China. Good for him, obviously, giving a bigger role, But he is the only Chinese actor in the movie full Chinese. Awkwafina is Chinese, South Korean. The actor who's playing Shang-Chi is Chinese Canadian type thing. In which ethnicity should not matter, but to China they do. We know this. This is not new to us. But he has been known to play good guys, okay? Mm-hmm. Over in China, that's what he's most known for, is being the good guy. He is playing the villain, possibly the new big bad villain of the MCU entirely. So that right there, I think, also has a problem. Ultimately, you want the whole movie. I'm getting there. To us, it's not a problem. I get that face. But I'm talking about the region that the movie is trying to sell its most to. They're having a huge conniption, little fuck over there. I am not kidding. So, with the fact that their only real Chinese actor is playing the villain, which sounds bad. I mean, in my head, it does. I don't know, it just kind of sounds bad a little. But also, I don't know, do research into it. I was so, awestruck by all the crap. Marvel dug themselves, a big hole. It's kind of like Mulan. You know how Mulan had all its troubles and stuff because of China? It's the same exact thing. And so I would do research into it. I think overall the movie sounds good, and we're so far out that they could still make changes. And so I don't really know if the casting announcements that have been announced, such as Shang-Chi and different things like that.
I mean, just to give people a kind of perspective, it's Thursday, July 25th, 2019. It doesn't come out until February 12th, 2021. They got a couple years to get things fixed.
Yeah,
they need
and
to get
so I think that's really good for them. So I'm just letting the people know that Shang-Chi could be changed as the actor, which sucks. He's been campaigning.
No, I don't think they will.
I do the research.
If they change anything else, I think it might be the people around him.
No, I do the research, and I only say that for a very simple. But because to be honest with you, Shang-Chi is not made for us. We can agree with that. It's not made for us.
It's gonna be good though.
For what?
It's gonna be good though.
No, I'm not saying that. It's made for China. It's made to give back to China for all the love that they gave, the MCU. And so I think Marvel is going to try its best to make China happy. And so that's why I say, well, this is a story that I'm so curious to see develop over the next few years. Let's move on, though. Out of controversy, so that's the only one I have. And we're getting to the good stuff. Oh my god.
So next up in spring of 2021. So if Shang-Chi is February, I'm guessing May, probably. May or June is WandaVision. Which is, so this is what this is called, where Paul Bettany reprises the role of Vision, and Elizabeth Olsen returns as Scarlet Witch. And the biggest reveal of this entire thing was the introduction of Teyonah Parris, who will be playing the adult version of Monica Rambeau from Captain Marvel. And so what this show is, I don't really give a description. I really doubt you know what the show is going to be.
I do.
Really?
Oh, I know.
It is set in a parallel. So there's a great run again by Matt Fraction. No, not Brian Fraction. John Hickman. John Hickman's Vision, and it's set in a world where Vision makes robots of all of these people, and including this dog. It's a really sad story, but it's a way for Vision to feel like he's home, like he's real in this world. I think they're going to twist that a little bit because they showed an animatic at Comic-Con, and it's you can see Wanda and Vision holding each other through an old 50s TV, and it sounds weird and awesome. I'm wondering how Monica Rambeau is going to come into the show. But the cool thing about this show, I think the show is going to be really good. But the fact that it leads into
hold on. Can I talk about WandaVision before we move on?
No, I'm not. We're just going to talk about WandaVision. I think that this show is going to set up Wanda for a reason.
Yeah, I know. So I
go on.
Before we move on, because I know that's what you want to talk about, but I have so many things to talk about here that I just need to get off my chest, because I've been waiting, Zachary, for days to talk to you about this. Literally, I was crying.
I remember when this got announced, you're like, what the heck's WandaVision?
I know. Yeah. It blew my mind. Because, like, obviously, the stuff that we're getting to is, like, the bigger stuff,
I
get that. But, like, when you start thinking about what this could mean, it blows. And I mean it blows. And it just... So, with Avengers Endgame, with the setup that she's, like, going evil, I mean, that's what they did, essentially, with Thanos showing all of her power. Oh, best moment, one of my favorite moments of Avengers Endgame. I'm going to talk really fast. I'm sorry for anybody who cannot understand me.
Releasing July 30th. We're so close to Endgame.
Yes, we are. And so with that moment, at the end, where the... So, I do believe that this whole TV show, which is supposed to be 8 hours long, by the way.
All of them are supposed to be 8.
Yeah, 8 hours long. Not all of them are 8. Just this one, we did a confirmation of the episodes type thing. 8 hours long is going to take place, I do believe, in her brain, like we talked about. It's such a big thing with the character of Wanda, and that's exactly how they could bring back Vision without having to bring him back to life. Makes total sense. I'm so excited because if you look at the comics, and what you should, everybody read the comics, come on, they're beautiful, especially Wanda's. There's certain ones that
Wanda.
That's what I mean. We're getting there. We are getting there. We're not there yet, okay? Calm down. I'm talking to myself. I get it. So, before she tears down the world, which is what we're getting to, she goes into her own little headspace. She goes crazy. Basically. Insane.
Madness, if you will.
Madness. Almost Doctor Strange-like. Real on the nose, probably. So, let's just say, out of this whole entire announcement, out of all of Comic-Con, the year I'm most looking forward to is right there. And I mean, this little time period of my life is going to go down in history. For Doctor Strange being one of my least favorite Marvel movies, out of the whole thing, to him being one of my most anticipated movies over the next 2 years blew my mind, and they did it. They did it. Okay, now we can talk about it.
So we're actually going to take a break, and we're going to talk about Loki for a minute.
What?
So Loki comes out also in the spring, so I'm guessing WandaVision in April, and I'm guessing...
Didn't Loki come out
probably,
the year after?
No, Jacob, the only 3 things in 2020 are Falcon Winter Soldier, Eternals, and Black Widow. The rest is all 2021.
Oh, okay. Continue.
So Loki comes out in spring 21. I'm guessing probably May.
Okay.
I'm going to give them like a month apart. So Loki, they actually showed the full scene from Endgame when Loki gets the cube and goes away. And Kevin Feige confirmed that's where the show takes off.
I don't know.
And so what I like about this show is that it's going to be a new Loki. He has not gone through the troubles and terrorisms that our Loki does. So we get to see this Loki grow into a more mischievous god, maybe. Maybe he'll go fuck with some things. Maybe he'll go meet Thanos for a little bit and get some revenge from Avengers. Maybe. I consider Loki a giant what-if show, just not cartoon.
My thing with Loki is all the speculation of having, like, kid Loki.
I can still have him.
It still could, I get it, but also, like, is it going to? Probably not.
He's going through dimensions. He can meet his kid self or his lady self.
I know, but, like, I was just so excited about that.
I mean, we have a lady, someone else coming in. It'd be kind of cool if we had the two of them. We're going to talk
about the other thing, which I'm much more excited about.
You hurt my heart. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Did it hurt your heart because she came? I have so many questions for you about that whole situation as well.
Okay, so we're finally to the one that I want to talk about the most because it's the best title. It's the So
let's talk about it.
By the way, unfortunately, you are incorrect. We can bring up Far From Home now.
Oh, okay.
Spoilers for Far From Home, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay. No, wait. Now I know what you're talking about.
So
think about it.
On May 1st, 2021. He gets a summer slate release, and I think it's awesome.
Yes, he does.
Marvel Studios, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with Benedict Cumberbatch and Elizabeth Olsen, Scott Derrickson returning as director, and it is supposed to be a horror gothic film about the multiverse. Which, if you've seen Spider-Man: Far From Home, Mysterio mentions the multiverse, thinking that it was a giant fake, when in reality he was not lying.
But he was, because I have such a good theory. Let's see our theories. I want to hear yours first, though.
So, the title is called, I love this title so much, Multiverse of Madness. Now, you're bringing this little thing up with Scarlet Witch. There's a comic run called The House of M with Scarlet Witch, where she completely destroys the X-Men and the world. And the multiverse. I feel as though Wanda, the mutant, is going to rip open a hole in the multiverse, and that is how the Fantastic Four, Blade, X-Men are all going to jump in. I think that's how you bring Blade in. I am guaranteeing this right now on this show that there will be a Mahershala Ali post-credit scene as Blade in Doctor Strange. And I believe the story is about Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch fighting off Nightmare. And they are traveling through the multiverse to find him because he's going through and trying to screw things up, and Doctor Strange can't get there on his own. He needs a backup. He needs a partner, and his partner is fucking Scarlet Witch.
So I think that is an excellent theory, and I'm very curious to see if it's right. But
you think it's wrong?
I like to counter everything you talk about. I think you're a little bit wrong. Just a tad. Like, on the right path, but also, like, a skew little over, okay? So, I
can't stop smiling. I can't.
I know, honestly, I can't either. Either way, both of these options, I am so okay with. So, just for you to know that I'm supporting your fan theory this once. It's on camera. It's going on the internet. People will know I support you. Sad moments in Jacob's life, but it's okay. So, my fan theory for Multiverse of Madness is the fact that we're getting WandaVision right before. So, obviously, what they're hiding is Doctor Strange will be a part of WandaVision.
No shit.
I have a strong feeling that it could possibly be a lot of people being a part of WandaVision, because it's her brain. She could manipulate characters such as Captain America or something like that. They could also be a part of there.
Can you imagine if that's how we got Tony Stark back as Iron Man?
Well, that's what I mean. An Iron Man, a different reality version of Iron Man. Something really cool. Something, you know what I mean? But we'll have to wait and see. That's just a theory. But I do think he's going to show up at the end because she's insane. Because honestly, come on. We can't do this without her being insane. And she rips open in the beginning of Doctor Strange. They don't have enough money. I don't think they're going to spend enough money over there to be able to do this over here. She's going to rip
What
open.
they do?
Oh my god, I would. My mind. I don't even know how it functions. Honestly. Like, I'd be like, Marvel, you did it wrong. This is not where you're supposed to do this, but thank you.
Cliffhanger for season 1. Go see Doctor Strange to find out the cliffhanger.
She rips open, just like you said, into the multiverse. It's her, and instead of them working together, she's actually the villain of Doctor
And Doctor Strange has to go find her?
And Doctor Strange has to go defeat her.
Ooh.
Two of the most powerful people in the MCU, because we do know that Doctor Strange is a much controlled version of Wanda. Wanda is loose. Wanda doesn't know her powers equaling. Doctor Strange does know his powers, and we have already had discussions about the multiverse. We just didn't realize because it wasn't concrete. Tilda Swinton talks about a lot in Avengers Endgame, in Doctor Strange.
She
talks about the multiverse. Huh?
She brings up the multiverse several times in Doctor Strange.
She talks about a lot, and so it'd be amazing if she comes back for a cameo or whatever. But with that being said, I think it's going to be based off the madness, that she is the madness of the title. She breaks open the multiverse, and it's a traveling movie of him going through, like, either, like, her mind or whatever it is, however it correlates, and her head is a horror film.
You know what would be even cooler now? Is that at the end of WandaVision, like you said, we're in Scarlet Witch's mind. What if standing behind her with his hands above her head, trying to figure out what's going on in there, leading into Doctor Strange, is Doctor Strange behind her going,
yeah.
What are you doing in there? Yeah, I'm so fucking excited for this movie.
Like, honestly, I'm very excited for 4. I'm very excited for Black Widow. But let's get real here. I think this is the biggest headline.
It got the biggest applause of the entire show.
It was just mind-blowing. And then the fact that they did it. Our most fan-requested thing for any movie outside of Avengers Endgame is the Stranger Things. Oh my god, my brain is so tired. Doctor Strange gets Scarlet Witch. It made so much sense.
Okay, so moving on. We can move on. We need to take a breather. So next up,
for a very long time to talk to you about this.
It's so good. So in summer of 2021, we get the What If series, which is the first animated series from the MCU with Jeffrey fucking Wright as the Watcher.
Well, we don't really have to go through the whole cast for this.
No, we're not going to.
Okay, because everybody's coming back. It's not
no. There's 2 on there that were not confirmed. Evans and Downey were not on there.
Yeah, but I'm sure if they have anything to do with the story, they'll come back. I mean, I'm not really worried about it.
And next up, in fall of 2021, this show is not getting enough credit. If you need to go read something to get into this character, it is Matt Fraction's Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. It leads into this show beautifully. And so this is what we know about this show. It is with Jeremy Renner. We'll also introduce Kate Bishop. We don't know who's playing her yet.
Came out of the
I'm so happy that's not his daughter. I'm so happy it's a separate character.
Well, I'm happy it's not his daughter because I wasn't super impressed with the acting of the child. So I'm happy.
But here's the real kicker. Here's something that I didn't think they would reveal. This show will go into the dark days of Ronan.
Yeah, which I was not super impressed with Ronan in.
But Avengers. I think there's a reason why. I think this show, they set up with Endgame. Clint is not happy with the decisions he made post 5 years after the beheading of Thanos. He's not happy with what he did. I think he's going to bring in Kate to teach her, listen, the world still needs an archer to save them. Someone that can point them in the right direction. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. You're Hawkeye. I'm going to teach you the ways to go. And there'll be some melodrama in there. I'm guarantee you she'll bring up the Avengers. She'll probably ask about Black Widow. But she's also the second young Avenger we have on this list.
Oh, hold on. Because I know what you're bringing up. We are going to have to go back, track before we get to the last announcement, back to Wanda. WandaVision, because I do have a theory for that it just triggered my brain. But continue what you're saying.
But there are 4 separate Young Avengers mentioned within this panel. There is Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, Monica Rambeau, who I believe will be the leader.
Technically an actual Young Avenger, but I think would be an excellent suit.
I think she'll be the leader of the Young Avengers. I think she'll be the mentor of the Young Avengers. We've had Cassie Lang in Endgame, who will be the equivalent of the Wasp. And then we have he's not mentioned here, but he's also in Endgame. It is the kid that Tony taught from Iron Man 3. He's at the funeral. I believe he's going to be Iron Lad.
No, see, I don't think that's true. And I only say that because I don't think Robert Downey Jr. would be supporting for Iron Lad to be what Iron Lad is in the comics.
You think it'll be his daughter then?
No, I think it will be. I think he really wants the Black Black
Ironheart.
Yeah, Ironheart. That's what he wants, and so I'm very curious to see if that's where they go. Personally, I think Young Avengers is getting a little too female for my liking. I love me some female characters.
We need some males.
So I think it should be a male. But with 2 males, I do have a little thing that we can talk about. Side note, but continue.
I think one of the males could be the child of Black Widow and Captain America. I think that could somewhere come in. I think so. You'll hear me out when we talk about it. So the last announcement. Announcement.
Hold on. Huh. Calm down.
Sorry.
I have to talk about it too. I know, but I have to talk about it too. Seriously, you're skipping. So personally, I'm really, really excited for Kate Bishop. I do wonder if Catherine Langford was supposed to be playing Kate Bishop, and that is the reason why she got cut. Maybe she was supposed to be a part of the Ronin stuff, and we got it all mixed up that she was supposed to be Morgan, aged up, but instead, she's actually with Jeremy Renner, and then they ended up cutting her due to time length or whatever the story. So, I do wonder if she will be Kate Bishop, and they're just keeping her a secret for now.
Right now.
You know what I mean?
We have a little bit. We're good.
Yeah. And it's not like she's going to look any different 2 years from now when she debuts on the TV show, Whole 9 Yards. I'd be very curious to see if she's a deleted scene or something like that. Then we'll get a confirmation of what she was supposed to be. Because ultimately, I would love her to be Kate Bishop. So, But, going backwards, since we are talking about Young Avengers, we all knew Young Avengers was coming. This is not a shock to the world.
I'm happy we're getting the Young Avengers. I think that's cool.
But with the Young Avengers, there's 2 Pacific Avengers that no one has talked about yet because they technically don't exist because they're mutants, right? So the only place they could show up was in Wanda's head or in the multiverse, and that is her children. Her envisioned children. They are main characters of Young Avengers. One of them is the first LGBTQ Avenger of all time. It's a prolific run. I can't think of their names, but it's based off, one is her powers, one is his powers. Like, she made them out of them, like out of herself and her brother. And so I'm pretty sure they'll pop up too. As
now, the other one that could show up mutant-wise, if they want to do it, if they're bringing in the mutants, is Magneto's other daughter, Polaris.
Well, I'm not really talking, I don't really think they're going to call them mutants per se, but because of what WandaVision is.
Kevin Feige dropped the word mutant. They're going to be called.
What I'm saying is because of in which they could totally pull it off as, for instance, talking about mutants and talking about Wanda and who she is, what she is related from in the mutants and different things like that. They could totally say, no, it was a lie. He lied to your parents, or not actually this. Your parents was these people. Now they can actually say it because.
Well, people keep forgetting this one notion about Quicksilver's part, which in the MCU. They're not called anything. They're called specials. They don't have a name to them. They're just called specials.
Well, that's what I mean. And so they could have lied, and then now we could be getting the announcement. No, your guys' dad is this person, and that could be a way they could, mention.
But does that mean they killed off Magneto?
No, it's like they lied that their parents died. They didn't actually die. You know what I mean? Also, I think Quicksilver is also very tempted to show up in either the movie or
I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to show up in WandaVision in her head.
I mean, if he hasn't called his agent yet, he's really making a mistake.
Yes.
Because he needs it.
Get me back into this fucking Marvel thing. I need it now.
So, just want to mention it before we talk about the last, probably one of the bigger headlines. It definitely was the one that trended the most.
Bigger headlines? I think, honestly, if the Doctor Strange thing did not happen in this panel, this would be the mic drop. I really do.
No, I do think this was the mic drop because I Well, actually, I think this and Blade, I think, were the biggest things.
So, on November 5th, I love the fact that Thor's sticking with November. I'm happy about that.
Deserved it.
Is Marvel Studios, I love this title, and I love this font, I love this logo, is Thor Love and Thunder with Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and we'll talk about the third one in a minute. Taika Waititi returns as director, and it comes in theaters November 2021.
He also is writing it. He co-wrote the last one. He's fully writing this one without it.
Which I'm so happy about. So, there is a run on Thor called The Mighty Thor, and it is a run after Thor loses Mjolnir. Yep. Someone takes up the mantle. This is Jane Foster.
Well,
now,
he doesn't lose Mjolnir in particular. He loses his honor.
Yes, and so
I think that's more
there's the reason why I think people are getting pissed about this because why does she get the hammer? There's a reason for Jane to get the hammer. In the comics, Jane Foster gets the hammer. We find out in the comics that Jane Foster has cancer.
Yep.
And every time she uses the hammer to help people, it makes the cancer go quicker into her system.
Yep.
And so I feel as though this is why, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Natalie Portman would come back is only to do this version of Jane, to show that I think this is how we're bringing her in, is that it's been a while since we've seen Jane. I'm guessing something happened to her. She's being a scientist and all. I wonder if she got sick from some one of her experiments and it gave her cancer. And Thor realizes that, I'm no longer worthy of holding the hammer. I don't do anything, which makes sense
because of Endgame and where his character's at.
Right. And so most chronologically wise, it makes sense for this to happen.
People do have to realize that it isn't just like something he thinks in his brain that he's not worthy. The hammer itself says you're not worthy. He can't pick it up. He can't do anything. He loses his power completely. He's Odinson in the comic, which is just Odin's son. He doesn't have a name. But he loses it's just not him anymore. So
yeah. And we also got confirmations that, which we all knew, that Valkyrie is part of the
LGBTQIA plus community.
Yes. We also know that Jane is a part of this community.
No, it has yet to be confirmed.
I feel like it's going to.
There's speculation because of what's called that maybe it's a love triangle. Maybe
yes.
I don't think so.
This is why I bring up this villain, which we also now James Gunn confirmed that this movie takes place a month before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 story. So now we know that something happens here and Thor goes with the Guardians. We now know how that works. Because Gunn confirmed it. I think the villain of Thor Love and Thunder is Enchantress. I feel like she will manipulate people into the Love and Thunder because she's able to manipulate the minds. And I feel like that's what's going to be the villain-esque.
My only problem with that Enchantress, and Enchantress herself, the character, reminds me a lot of Hela.
I get that.
So that's a problem. Also, the film itself is extremely crowded, as it is.
I don't think so.
I think so. Because they have both storylines they have to do simultaneously, and then they have the other side storyline, which is Valkyrie's, in which we're not even sure if Natalie Portman's character, I'm sure Natalie Portman would be bored with, board with saying, I'm part of the community and things like that. And I think Taika Waititi is the perfect director to handle a storyline like that. But I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I do agree that Enchantress could be the villain, though.
Yeah. Well, people think when they see Thor Love and Thunder, they're talking about Chris Hemsworth's Thor.
Yeah.
I think Chris Hemsworth's Thor, for the first time in his own solo movie, is going to be a side character. I think the entire film is about Jane realizing her potential, becoming the mighty Thor, and her taking up his mantle while he goes and joins the Guardians. She'll be the Thor of the MC until he gets back, or maybe he just doesn't want to do it anymore. And I don't know. I think people are doubting on the Natalie Portman thing because of everything that happened with Thor: The Dark World.
And I want to mention real fast, because you're bringing it up, and I think it's an excellent thing to bring up, is that Natalie Portman decided to take a step back from the MCU in a very bad way, we agree.
Yes.
But she did it for a reason that I think is justified. She did not want to play a character that was just the love interest. And the first four, they kind of made her out to be a scientist, almost on the level playing field as four, as the second movie really did put her as the typical love interest.
Yes.
And she was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not supporting the movie. I'm going to go to the press junkets. I'm not going to talk highly of it. And now, having the call saying, hey, you're not just going to play female 4, but you're going to be playing a character that is exactly against what you left us for, is like, it's such a good thing. I don't know. I'm supporting this no matter what. And I don't think they could not have gotten a better actress.
Why do you do not take this call? Hello? Hey, Natalie.
Exactly.
Listen, it's Taika. You want to be Thor?
Yes.
What do you mean? Read the comics of the Mighty Thor. You'll know what I'm talking about. We'll see you. We'll see you when we start production. Bye bye.
And also, like, the cancer storyline.
Taika doing it.
Huh?
I don't think Natalie would have done it for anybody else, but the fact that Taika has shown how much dedication and love that he has for this.
I also think like the storyline.
He pushed Kira off to come do this movie.
Like, I think the production, like the storyline with the cancer, and like everything about it. Honestly, I could not have I think this is the perfect reward. For her, because I don't think she left in ill-fated. I think what happened was just happened to be blowing up.
I don't think she would have came back for Endgame if she was ill-fated. I don't think she would have came back.
When she went and she came back, and it was a quick cameo, but she came back. It was actually her. So
like it wasn't a stunt bumble. It was her behind that, and I don't know. I think Thor ending Phase 4 is perfect. It's a great way to go into Phase 5, which
I also really like the comparison of it beginning with an original Avenger and ending with an original Avenger.
I love that. I absolutely, I love it. And we now know that part of Phase 5. So Kevin Feige says, thanks everybody. We didn't get to kind of talk about Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We didn't get to mention the Fantastic Four. Giant applause. Besides Blade, I never heard a crowd scream louder when we were, and there's a thing with mutants? I don't know. Anyway, that's all of it. But there's one person I want to bring out. 2-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali. And everybody's like, what the fuck is Mahershala Ali doing on the Marvel Studios stage? And Kevin's like, I see you got a hat too, Mahershala. What your hat is? Puts it on. They do a fucking black fade to black mic drop and the logo da 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 da. My collective mind went, holy shit.
So I have a question.
Here's my other thing. Holy shit. But how?
So here's my question. I have 2 questions. 2 very big questions for you. One takes place with the actor, and the other takes place with the actual, character. So we're going to discuss both, as I think both should equally be discussed here. Mahershala Ali has already been a character. Now, sure, he wasn't a very big character in Luke Cage, but he was already a character in Luke Cage. How do you feel about him?
Can I say one thing with this? Mm-hmm. So did Alfred Whittier. She played an integral role in Luke Cage.
And a lot of people had problems. A lot of people had problems with the correlation, the thing with that as well. The same thing with this. One of the bigger negative headlines was, okay, so he's going to have to play Blade. Blade was already a Marvel character, so are we really dissing that much towards, that side of the Marvel? And I think we are.
But I think this explains why he got killed off of Luke Cage so soon. It's because he wanted to do bigger things with Marvel, and why not be a fucking vampire hunter?
So, next thing is,
how?
I get it that the magic system in Marvel is science, but I don't think vampirism is science. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Doctor
Strange. That's why I'm saying Doctor Strange is going to introduce. I think Doctor Strange is going to introduce the mystical side of the MCU, which includes werewolves, vampires, and such.
I don't know. This is because we talked about this a long time ago. I'd say before Endgame came out, maybe a month or so before Endgame came out, we speculated if Blade would ever make a comeback, and I said, yeah, I could see it happening, maybe, because of Deadpool and things like that. And personally, I think Deadpool is an excellent character to put with Blade. Also, I don't really know how I would feel, let's say Blade was like a PG-13 movie. I think Blade needs to be rated R, in my personal opinion. So that's one of the bigger factors as well. there's a lot of things here. They're taking a big risk with this character, and I'm so happy that they are. But I'm also nervous.
Of anybody from the Marvel Knights, anybody they could have chosen. They could have done Moon Knight. They could have done Ghost Rider again.
Yeah, see,
Anybody
both
they
those
could have
people popped
chosen
up in my
that
head.
would have fit, I think, better in their MCU. They go with the risk taker and choose Blade. I think that shows like what they wanted. I think this shows what the MCU Phase 5 is going to look like.
And then
I think
also,
it's the riskiest phase they've put out.
also with, Blade, a lot of people also was kind of mad that Wesley Snipes didn't get the call to reprise the role that he
what if he
made
did?
famous. But on that note, I would be like, if I was someone who's close to Wesley Snipes, I'd be like, have you tried calling them and saying, hey, can I have a smaller role in the movie? Because I think they would totally do that. Because he was such a big part.
I think everybody's also not dabbling around this at all. They did not say Marvel Studios Blade the movie at all.
No, it is a movie. That did get confirmed.
Did it get confirmed? I thought it was
confirmed.
Up in the air.
Nope. It is a movie. It'll be a full-length feature film that's going to go directly to theaters.
Okay. So, because at the time we didn't know if it was either going to be a show or a movie.
It didn't get announced until after Comic-Con.
Makes me feel better. It is a
movie.
So,
part of me feels like maybe it should have been a show, though. I don't know. Huh? I'm mixed. Part of me feels like maybe it should have been a show. I'm mixed. We'll see how big of a player Blade actually is.
Now, we keep bringing up Spider-Man. And I feel as though his next movie is going to be called Spider-Man's Last Hunt. I think that's what the movie's going to be called.
We talked about it.
And a certain vampire hunter has shown up in Spider-Man's world. What if the Last Hunt is Kraven searching for Spider-Man, and during the night, during one of Kraven's hunts for Spider-Man, he runs into this creature. We don't know what it is in New York. It's just a creature with fangs. And behind him, behind the creature, we see a stab, and it bursts into flames, and Blade's behind him. And Blade's like, you're not the only hunter in New York. You better get out of here. And goes away. I think that'd be cool because Blade's been a significant partner with Spider-Man.
I don't know.
I know what you're going to say. He's too young to deal with the vampire shit.
No,
I agree.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I'm not really sure. I think we'll probably get Blade before we get Spider-Man 3, is what my brain is thinking.
But do you agree with my one thing? Do you think Blade could show up in Doctor Strange?
Yes, I agree. And also, I really like how they're going in the more darker elements of. We talked about this especially with like Spider-Man and how dark Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man movie, was, and how much we loved how dark it actually went with the horror
Blade's
sequence.
the epitome of dark.
Huh?
Blade's the epitome of dark.
Well, no, and how I liked the idea that Avengers Endgame did say, "Hey kids, we're over the child shit. We're now moving into the adult stuff." And that's where we're headed. And I think 10 years has shown, yeah, your movie that was extremely adult, Avengers Endgame, which was still kid-like in a way, there's still jokes and things, but mostly serious, made how much money, Zachary? How much money did it make?
$2.782 billion.
Yes, it did. Oh, yes, it did. Good for them. Good for them. Did you see the poster that Avatar put out?
I love the talk between Cameron and the Russo brothers. It was really cool.
I loved seeing Iron Man covered in the things from Pandora. I thought it was so
love
sweet.
The Russo brothers said back to Cameron, we thank you for all the support. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And they have pictures of Terminator 2, Aliens, Avatar, and Titanic going, holy shit. I loved it. It was a perfect way to make that transition, and this transition will never happen again until something as huge as Endgame or
and I liked how they said
happens.
I liked how they said that, hey, for now we hold the mantle, but next year you could hold it back or something like that because of Avatar 3. I mean Avatar 2. And which it could. Who knows? Even though we talk a lot of crap about Avatar,
that back and forth.
It very well could make that much money since it has a perfect release strategy. The first one had a perfect release strategy, and everybody's going to go watch it once because we're all curious of what we've been hiding. You know what I mean?
ladies and gentlemen, that is the entirety of Marvel Studios' batshit crazy, holy mother of God. What have we got ourselves into? 2020 to 2021 Phase 4 release. And Kevin Feige did.
Can we just talk about how that's only for 2 years? How that's only
and Kevin Feige did say, we're not done yet. We'll see you at D23. I think he's got more to announce at D23.
And I feel like it's probably going to be more smaller things. More character announcements, more cast announcements, or something like that. I don't think there's going to be anything super huge. I think also possibly more than likely for Black Widow, they'll probably get another scene. Maybe we'll get our first teaser or something at D23. We're still really far out, like super far, but it's also, I would say, possible.
I think we're going to get our first teaser for Black Widow on Star Wars.
Well, I don't know. It's also very possible.
I think we'll get our first teaser for Black Widow in December.
I think that's also very possible.
But I think the coolest thing about this entire slate is this. There is not one single thing on this slate that I'm not excited for. Whereas in past slates, there have been stuff I'm like, on. There is not a single thing on this slate that I'm not excited about. Everything on this slate looks fantastic. There's not one thing I'm not excited about. There are things I'm more excited for, obviously, but there's not one thing in here.
I don't know.
I think it feels Phase 1-y all over again, and I love it.
I have to say, personally, like, talking about it, different things I kind of wish, I don't know, I think playing around with doing half and half Disney Plus, half movies, I think is an excellent way to bring in Disney Plus, and having them being such vehicles for the next thing going forward, such as Black Widow being a vehicle for Falcon. I think that's really good. And WandaVision being a vehicle. Loki's kind of out there. It is what it is. But Loki and What If I'm very curious about. Ultimately, I'm going to watch it. It's probably really fun.
Loki's a giant What If show.
But Loki, I'm not exactly excited for, like, at all. I'd say out of all the announcements at Comic-Con, Loki and the Eternals are my least two.
Is Eternals one of your least because you don't know enough about them?
Yes. But that means it's excellent for a movie because it can introduce me into a whole new world where I can be like, oh my god, I want 10 more movies of like this. You know what I mean?
So this is like the Guardians of the Galaxy to you all over again where you didn't know what they were?
Yeah, kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think that's a lot to do with like galaxy and difference. This is the only movie that's going to take place in space. We thought the whole next phase was going to take place in space. So that was really crazy coming to
I don't know. I think Doctor Strange and Thor could take place somewhere in space.
I think personally that probably
Thor could.
Thor, the Eternals, and maybe Loki could all take place somewhere out in space. I don't think Doctor Strange is. I think Doctor Strange is going to be, like I said, maybe a mind movie or something like that. Something a little bit more psychedelic like the first one was. Out
of curiosity, when the Doctor Strange stuff come up, did you, as soon as you got done watching it, go watch Doctor Strange? Because I did.
I did not. Nope. I have to say though, the thing I've been wanting to watch the most is the movie that does come out next Tuesday, and that is Avengers Endgame. And yes, that is exactly how close we are. Is that it does come out next Tuesday. I want to make sure that's very clear to everybody listening into this podcast right now. Next Tuesday, Avengers Endgame is yours to own. Okay.
We're getting it Friday.
We're getting it Friday?
Yes.
So I can let Mom know that?
Yes, we're getting it Friday.
Wait, so are you pre-ordering it Friday, or
no, I'm just buying it Friday.
Okay.
Which, by the way, let Mom know I'm gonna be down there with you guys. If everybody can wake up at 8:00 in the morning, we can watch it before I go to work.
Yeah, probably not.
I know. Worth a shot. But guys, unless there's anything else smaller from Comic-Con, we covered a lot that you want to talk about. I think that's it.
I do want to mention that there's anything you guys do want to hear us talk about, since we covered almost all the basics, I think, of the bigger stuff that came out at Comic-Con. Yes. But if there's anything else you guys want us to know about, comment down below. Either I'll make an opinion about it in the comments if I don't think it warrants a whole full story, or
and the same thing with me when it comes to the toy stuff. Hasbro, holy crap, came to play this year when it came to Marvel Legends, and Mattel, Masters of the Universe. How'd that happen? If you guys want to hear me talk about that stuff, just let me know, because I'm excited about everything that came out toy-wise from Comic-Con as well.
So all these things, let us know in the comments, as that is something that we would love to. I think Comic-Con is something that we could either make videos on separately about if we think it warrants it, or even possibly, if it's a slow week or something, we can be like, oh, okay, we didn't talk about that when Comic-Con was going on, let's talk about it now, type thing.
So let me ask you a question. Was this the most exciting Comic-Con you got to listen to over the past couple of days in a while? I've really enjoyed listening to stuff coming out of Comic-Con this year. I haven't liked this for the past couple of years. This is probably my favorite Comic-Con in a while.
I have to say, other than Marvel, I was really underwhelmed and disappointed.
I was overwhelmed.
But because of Marvel. And I think outside of Marvel, I think I was underwhelmed. So yes and also no. Like, in a way, there's so much goodness to talk about, and which makes me happy. But also, in a way, it just keeps reminding me that the other studios are not playing when they could totally play. And it's kind of annoying.
This just proved something. DC made a huge mistake this year.
They should not have said that.
Absolutely gigantic mistake. Because whatever they bring next year to Comic-Con, if they come, is going to be compared to what Marvel did this year.
Exactly.
And no offense to DC, it's not going to be that.
Well, who knows, right? Who knows? Wonder Woman 1984 could be that mind-blowing. And we'd be like, oh my god, what does this mean going forward with our life? You know what I mean? Who knows? I'm always
the only way DC could do something as crazy as this is give us a full trailer for the Batman next year, with Robert Pattinson coming out in Hall H in full suit.
I personally believe that they should not have signed out. They should have came.
No, they should have came.
I think it was a major mistake, and once again, it just proves even though Disney's coming, don't be scared. Play.
Work with them. Fight against them. Because it wasn't this too far long ago. Back in 2015, both Marvel and DC were at Comic-Con, and what won DC and what won Comic-Con that year? Batman vs Superman won that year.
DC, normally when they show up, they win. Now, I don't think they would have won this year in their defense, because Kevin Feige came, and Kevin Feige is like, no one's winning.
Hat drop. Now, 2 trailers released in the midst of all Comic-Con that were not Comic-Con related. That was "Won't You Be My Neighbor?"
Didn't watch.
Neighborhood. Now the other, well, actually that's 3. The other one was Taika Waititi talking about the man. Jojo Rabbit's teaser dropped,
which we cannot talk about yet because I have been in a horrible slump. I'm going to be reacting to it. I will personally call you, and if you have
all I will say is this: what the fuck?
Exactly. So I'll personally call you after I react to it and different things like that. Plan on reacting to it probably tomorrow. So I'll text you like, hey, this is what I thought.
And you did a reaction to the trailer. Another horror trailer to me came out over Comic-Con weekend, and that was Tom Hooper's felines. I'm sorry, cats. Again, I say, what the fuck? This was the weirdest, I say downright creepy trailers I've ever seen.
Part of me believes maybe they should have just went with cats too.
I think they should have went with a full animated film and not CG.
Well, once again, I'm not judging it based off the CG. Everybody is, understandably so. But I am not, personally, and it's only because we are so far out from the release date that we have to see something. I'm going to wait until we get...
I understand. It looked like CGI circa 2005.
Yeah, I did mention that. That was something I mentioned in my trailer reaction, that this looked like something that should have came out like 5 years ago.
Save that trailer. Her singing is so good in this trailer, and it made me go back and watch the Broadway version of Memory. That song is so good.
My only problem...
there's no story to Cats.
Huh?
There's absolutely no story to Cats.
There is a story, which is so sad. I didn't even realize. I did research, Zachary. I was curious. I was like, what am I getting into? And, okay, for anybody who's never seen Cats and wants to go in completely blind, this is probably about the time where you should probably skip out.
For a very old Broadway show.
Who the Train, guys. It's been on for many, many years. I didn't know about it, so I'm not disrespecting you for not knowing the story of Cats, but it's about to get real dark here for a minute, and I'm curious if you knew the story of Cats. Because I did not. So it follows a new feline who discovers you can die. Because one of the things in Cats and Broadway the musical is all about death. Yes, this whole thing is nothing but death. It is based off the 9 lives of cats and how they cannot actually physically die because they have 9 lives. One cat actually dies. It brings in this revolution that cats can die. The whole story is about trying to murder yourself. Yes, I am not kidding.
The song that Jennifer Hudson sings about memory.
Yep.
About cats.
It's all about the memories that they had in their previous lives.
Jesus Christ.
That's what we're watching.
And those are the visual insights they want to put in front of that movie? Okay.
See,
by the way, the cast.
Plot,
how do you feel about the cast? Because there's a certain point where we see Rebel Wilson as a cat that makes me want to just, not watch film anymore.
Well, okay, I have a found respect for Rebel Wilson. So, part of me is like, yay, but also part of me is like, nay.
Why? James Corden as a fat cat looks funny.
Okay, but also, I'm over James Corden. I was over James Corden 2 movies ago when James Corden was in them. So, I'm not okay.
The coolest looking cat of the entire trailer is because you barely can see him is Idris Elba.
I don't know. I also I did really like Jason Derulo's cat.
Jennifer Hudson looked beautiful.
Jennifer Hudson, and
Judi Dench. Too much fur. Too much fur on Judi Dench.
But also, I think Judi Dench looked really good. But Jennifer Hudson, I think, is one of those cats I think they spent a lot of time already on the VFX for. And I think that's really kind of more of what we're supposed to be getting.
Instead of what we saw?
Instead of what we saw. Because I think there are certain scenes in the movie that are really pretty that I'm like, maybe you can make me believe. Maybe.
But by the way, the other thing that really took me out of this trailer were all the giant fucking sets. When you see these people lounging around these giant-ass beds, I understand what he's going for. It's weird.
Yeah, I kind of agree, too. Because, it's a human cat, so maybe they should be the same size. And also, is a cat really that small?
It's small?
I don't think it is.
She's not that tiny.
Wait,
it's not exactly tiny in general.
Wait,
but she's not that. She's not the size of a little pillow on my bed.
Is she on your bed?
Yeah.
Could you pick her up for a second? Oh, baby. Okay, take me away.
So yeah, my number one most anticipated horror film of the year is Cats.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody will go see it.
Yeah, we're gonna go see it. Honestly, and if it's not good, just go sit down and laugh and have a good time.
Well, if you don't like Cats, you can always go see Jumanji. It comes out the same weekend, so
Oh, and so to end this again with some CGI stuff, I saw a little film, tiny film, really. Didn't make that much money. I saw Lion King. It was a joke. It's a big joke. I saw Lion King. Short, sweet, to the point. I didn't hate it. Didn't love it. My main issue with the movie is emotion. That's all I'll say is emotion. That's what I'll say is emotion.
He's going to have a full review about it, right?
Before we'll be going up, I'm actually going to shoot it tomorrow and send it to you. We'll get it up. However, the song I was looking the most forward to wasn't bad, but it's not the song from the animated movie. I'll just say that too. And everybody's correct on what's his face's older Simba.
Tom Glover.
Wasn't good at all.
Well, I'm going to talk to him more in depth, but I don't want to. Like I said, in that review, by the way, it's going to be probably spoiler and non-spoiler filled, as it's The Lion King.
I'm looking at this camera dead center in the face currently. If you've never seen Lion King in any form or stretch of the imagination, do watch my review. However, if you've seen the '94 version, if you've seen the Broadway musical, if you've seen any other version of The Lion King, you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and... Oh, actually, hold on. Side note, since we do like shouting out things, I do want to mention real fast, just real quick, real quick, that Stranger Things should be popping up here relatively soon. Any reviews that we have done should also be popping up here relatively soon. And also, like I said, once I do start covering Arrow, it's going to be popping up. And then I also want to mention that I'm reacting to The 100.
Hashtag where's Batman vs. TMNT?
Well, once again, didn't get a picture of you, so there's no thumbnail, so it doesn't go up until you get one. So, also, I might be playing around with reacting to, like, favorite films or anything like that as well. I'm not entirely sure. It's a debatable thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not. I have to play around with it first.
I am.
Huh?
I'm reacting to a movie.
And you going to be editing this?
No, I'm just doing a full live stream on my channel.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do a live. If you're just going to send me the thing for Weekend Movie Bros, I'm going to do a live stream, watch along commentary for Avengers Endgame.
Which simply means that he's going to talk about the movie while he watches it. While you guys watch it with him, you have to have your own copies. He can't show any part or hear any part of the movie.
It's a fun thing. I did it before with the first Superman movie from Richard Donner's Superman movie. I did it forever ago.
Well, I just wanted to make sure the audience understood that they're not going to get to see a free version.
There's not going to be like full beautiful images from Avengers Endgame on screen. No. You have to watch it with me. That's the chase here.
Just his face for 3 hours, guys. That's what you're paying for. Well, you're not paying for it.
No, you're literally going to sit there for 3 hours watching my face go.
All right. Well, I think
that's it.
That's everything? All right.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this, go give it a big head thumbs up. Big, gigantic. I don't know. Give it a thumbs up. What else are we doing, Zachary?
You can also like, subscribe, and comment, and click on the notification bell, which is the Captain Marvel poster.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. Any last words?
Comic-Con. Done. Gone. I even got the Comic-Con flu and I wasn't even there.
Well, okay. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.